think you should side with me. Stay solid one time if you lie with me. Just promise you never lie to me. Keep the moves on tuck. I know it's all love. Everything good. Keep the vibes on crush. I know it's all good. Know it's all love. Know it's all love. I've been feeling like I'm feeling like a man lately. Can't nobody do it like I can daily. Baddest in the lattice in the land. Body turn your nigga to a fanny up, fanny up. I made it where I'm at on my own. Had a couple blocks in the road, but I get to the bag on the low. I be counting stacks while they grow, yeah, you know me. Baby, won't you keep me company? Give me something to do when I get lonely. I got something for you when we get home. If you let me put it down, when I come in town, you should slide on me. Keep your minds on me. On try, baby, I think you should side with me. Stay solid one time if you lie with me. Just promise you never lie to me. Keep the moves on tuck. I know it's all love. Everything good. Keep the vibes on crush. I know it's all good.
2023. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azor. Let's start this damn show. Yes, it's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azor. Let's start this damn show. Like It or Not. Rebecca Azor is in the house. You know she got a funny story to tell. Talking politics, culture, a real life-ish. I live in life in the ATL. Benjamin, yeah, that's my man. He's always coming up with the master plan. Politics scheming, I'm trying to find the meaning of life. While the feds keeps us in strife. I'm your DJ. I really don't need no introduction right now, but you know what? I stay dropping them jams. Y'all know who I am. Good hope, dad jokes, culture-ish, politics. What you're hearing right now was the culmination of all of this. I started out with the mic in my hand, and I graduated to a plethora of fans. I love bringing joy to the people. It makes me feel great, makes me feel regal. I do what I do for you. 8 p.m. Friday, you know how we do. Let's go. It's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azor. Let's start this damn show. It's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azor. Let's start this damn show. Like it or not, y'all. 2023. Let's start this damn show. Let's go.
Like It or Not starts now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Like It or Not.
Well, we're free to tell them.
Oh,
It's been a while. Go ahead. Do it again. Do it again. I'm sorry.
crazy. All right.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Like It or Not.
Where we're free to tell the truth. Actually,
That's
you're
no-
supposed to
that's-
finish.
Oh, you're right. Okay, let's do it one more time because it got
I messed
crazy.
you
It
up
got
and then
crazy.
you try. Yes, no, I know what happened.
Yeah, you did. Go ahead. Go
Okay,
ahead, Bubba.
good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth.
And not care who doesn't like it. There it is.
All right. Thank you. It is February 3rd, and I am joined by all of my brothers in them here on Like It or Not. Listen, I feel like last weekend was a blur, but we're here during Black History Month.
Uh-huh.
And
Exactly.
so now I feel like, I'm available. I am here with you guys. And I feel like we're going to be present, and David isn't going to talk much and he's going to give us time because it's Black History Month. Are we right? Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? David, don't say
Excuse me,
nothing.
all right, Miss. This is a Wendy's. I don't know.
Okay.
Got that? Yes, no. This is Black History Month. White folks are not allowed to.
Do a damn thing because listen, every other. Let me tell you something.
What you say? You're not affiliated with this nonsense?
I'm not fooling with y'all.
That's okay. You don't have to, because I'm gonna tell you this right now. So many things are being taken away from Black folks in
Talk
this
about it.
moment right before our
Talk about
eyes.
it.
We're watching so much rollbacks from a lot of effort and a lot of gains and a lot of forward movements and a lot of fights that we've had. We're watching so many rollbacks, not only that are directed at just women, it's women of color, it's Black men, it's just Black people, period, that are getting hit the hardest when there are any rollbacks anyway. And then on top of that, they're saying that we don't deserve things like reparations and stuff. Yet California is actually looking at programs to give reparations to Black folks, and white people are outraged. Not during Black History Month. You won't be.
Oh no, they're gonna be doubly outraged during Black History Month.
But we're not gonna listen to them. Not
Oh,
during
well,
Black
I mean,
History
yes,
Month
please,
or
yeah.
Black History Year.
Yeah.
Or because for me, that's 365 days. Sometimes,
365.
yeah,
365 Black.
like so. At the end of the day, and over here, it's always Black History moments and tidbits, and we will make a white story Black
In a minute.
in a second. We will find out, how does this affect Black people?
The way they take our dances and make them white.
Okay.
Okay.
But why David said, I never talk much. I take my 1 minute, but not this.
Not this month, David.
Not this.
Wait a
Monday,
minute.
not
Wait a
even
minute.
Monday.
Wait, we've already failed. I sat here and listened to David do like 15
It wasn't streaming
of
on
your
my
show,
channel.
Jay.
It wasn't streaming on my channel at that time. I said, "No, not this white man."
You
out
know
here
what?
talking." And I'm just kidding, David. I love you, beat it.
I hate y'all so much.
Oh goodness.
But anywho, it is
BBC
Black
racism.
History Month.
What?
It is Black History Month, and we can't start it. I wish we had that clip that always, comes up from that time when me and Ben were talking about Ben Shapiro being upset.
Oh yeah.
And we was in the studio working, and it was a whole thing. That was one of our viral clip
Ooh, not my phone
clip
ringing.
moments from 2017. But we were letting them know, listen, it's Black Panthers outside. We're gonna dress up to go to the movie theaters. You guys are gonna be upset. Wakanda forever. We're gonna do the sign when we see each other. We're gonna and Blackness will still be Blackness even after this movie, and we're not saying Wakanda forever anymore.
Yeah.
Blackness will still be Blackness. And again, it's not a monolith, and they look at us like we're a monolith, and that's problematic because, like, Ben, you made a point when you played those voicemails when they were cussing us out during Black History Month and calling us all kinds of NIGG, the hard ERs and all kinds of things, and disrespecting us and saying that they should rape my kids and throw them out. Then they found out I spoke another language and they were upset about that. And you had to school them and say, my goodness, you white person.
Oh, I don't call that particular group of people white people anymore.
Yeah, I don't. What do you call them, Ben?
You want me to say it?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, I do.
Because we
I
streaming
do.
on my
Sit.
channel.
I have done some scientific research into the characteristics and traits of these people that you're talking about, who regularly use this type of racist trope. And the most scientific way of describing them is Jim Crow crackers. That's
sorry. See, you done said it on my show. You're talking about
JCCs.
Cracker Jacks,
JCCs.
like the box Cracker Jacks.
JCCs.
Yeah, I'll take that. Now,
JCCs.
Ben also made a point though, and he said, "My family heritage, you can trace that back longer than a lot of you guys."
Oh yes, I've been here. My family bloodline has been here like what? 4 generations longer than Ron DeSantis. Like Ron DeSantis, you're new here. Go back to where you come from. Your people are Italian. He's not even. He's not even a candidate anymore. He lost.
Ronaldo DeSantis.
But Ronaldo
DeSantis.
Yeah, was it Deion DeSantis? It's some kind of real
Ronaldo DeSantis.
Dion.
So, but you really think about it, like a majority, a great, I don't know what percentage. So I don't want to say majority, but there's a percentage of European Americans who just got here from Ellis Island, now telling us who've been here since, I don't know, we could probably trace it back to 1619, but you know how slavery did our the history of Black folks. We've been here longer than them, and they want to tell us to go back. No, y'all get out of our country. We built this.
Somebody said in the comments, Rebecca, have you seen the memes about the Woolworth sit-ins and how when the restaurant was finally integrated, the first Black folks to enter hated the food?
Buddy said even though he's like, I'm sitting down in there when I first got that food. It was terrible. They tasted like
they needed integration. They needed spice. They needed salt, and they needed pepper. They needed marinades. They needed.
I sat here for this.
Okay.
And like it's a literal real clip, y'all, from one of the guys that was like a
I believe
pinnacle.
it.
And he sat there and was just like, I sat here for this. I did all that for this.
I believe it.
Some nasty food. No seasoning.
Nasty.
Raisins in the potato salad. You know what I mean?
Terrible.
Like
It's terrible. During Black History Month, a few years back, we posted the pictures on last Saturday. We had Nancy Pelosi decide to go with the Black congressional.
Finish it, please, Becca.
He done tapped on. Was it the Black congressional
such and such? It was
caucus people, and so
taking a football kneel.
They done tapped on their shoulder. This is what, and I'm going to a point here. I'm going to make it, but the rollbacks, because just a few years ago, Nancy Pelosi, right, our majority leader at the time, she was partnering and shouting out Black folks, and felt like in that time to partner with them during Black History Month was to put on kente cloth. Mm-hmm. Okay, and the pattern that we know that is all Black people wear during Black History Month.
Right.
We're gonna have on the jewelry. We're gonna have our nails done. I don't have my nails done in that moment right now. In how I usually do every year. But the whole thing, the whole shabash. And so having white people wear the cloth and say they're in solidarity with us. Where are those white people who are wearing? Is Nancy Pelosi wearing one today? Or was it just for that moment in a photo op? And this is where I'm saying the rollbacks that have happened. Here we go. This is the photo.
Absolutely.
The rollback. This is what happens when we let everybody into the cookout.
Amen.
This is what happens when we let everybody into the cookout, which he's back in the cookout right now. But this is what happens when we let people into the cookout and they come, and then next year they're like, yeah, I was at the cookout last year. So I don't think that there's anything else I can contribute to that cookout. You know why? Because they were only there so that guilt that they have for being a part of something that is racist, and knowing that all of these things that they sit on that they can help with, or that they can promote, or that they can utilize their platforms to shine a light on, and that is racism. And I'm talking about specifically towards Black people in America, right? It doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. In 2024, we've watched Twitter pick up Black Twitter, because Black Twitter is really what made Twitter what it is. We had Twitter come and make it, like in 2020, make a whole big thing. Black Twitter had their office section inside of the offices. And then when the COVID, everybody was sent home for COVID, they were promised their at-home spaces and to continue to work for them. So many Black people had got jobs during 2020. Listen, may not have been qualified, but they got the job. And when I say qualified, I mean qualified by skin color or by experience. Meanwhile, they're very experienced, but they didn't have the experience as the offices may have wanted because they're Black. Okay, I'll say that. But during 2020, when all the white folks decided, I'm gonna go on vacation, I'm stressed. Those corporate jobs, Black people filled them. And today, none of them have those jobs. Netflix created room, remember? For Black voices. Remember that? My goodness, created room for Black voices. And then what happened? Okay. We saw white folks on TikTok doing certain dances to Black songs in solidarity. Now, today, they're stealing content bar for bar, word for word, and getting away with it. Hey, this is what's happening right now. They do not get how we were fighting for content thieves back then. Today, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Everything that Starbucks and their racist, the man that literally was the racist person got money. That whole diversity and inclusion that came out of Starbucks shutting down for 24 hours, it's gone. It doesn't matter anymore. They're going to go back to putting... I walked into, because y'all know I live in a predominantly white area. I say it all the time. I walked into my Target, my local Target.
Wait, from the toothpaste aisle into
and there goes my historically Black area, because every year they do that. Well, for the last few years, maybe 4 since 2020, they have started the Black cultural for Black History Month.
Oh
They have their
Lord,
section where they have Black
you did not do that.
artists, Black creators who have books, clothing, calendars, merch, whatever the case may be, all types of things, and they sell them at through Target. They don't put it gets further back every year.
I was going to ask you, Rebecca. I
Where-
was
where-
hoping you were going to
Where
talk
it was
about
located
this.
this year? Because
Yes.
every year I talk about it. It was the front of the store in 2020. In the back, we're right there before the workout and lingerie, but right there in the middle of the corner where it's like it's in the way for people. So I'm going to tell you why it's in the way.
Ooh.
I walked over from the toothpaste and directly into it, but it's in the back. The toothpaste house here, I just stepped over and I was in that area, and then I stepped over again, and I was in regular clothes. So here's the thing. I'm looking at it and I said, I want to buy all this stuff, but in this particular store, they're going to put this on sale in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They're going to put it on sale for.
Rebecca, I forget you could turn up like that in public.
I usually buy stuff and then
like
2 weeks later, it's in the sale aisle.
Sale, right?
And it's a great thing because I can pay it for, I'm paying cheaper for it. But when I was there, I was standing in lane. I was talking to my girlfriend Dina, and I'm like, "Girl, they got the stuff. They got the mugs.
Put the Nancy Pelosi back on.
It says, "Oh my goodness, Black men smile," because that they be smiling, and it was a whole thing. Me and her having a moment. She's like, "Girl, I gotta go. I gotta pull up. I gotta go check it out."
George Floyd.
A white woman comes and she's like, "What's all that commotion?" It's me. I'm the only person doing the commotion in that area. I'm just excited, and she just comes and she stares at me. I'm staring at her. She's staring at me. I'm staring at her.
Mm-hmm.
She's staring at me.
Mm-hmm.
And then my girlfriend was like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Girl, they just in here, and they're not gonna buy nothing. They just walking around." And I was really, because I'm like, I don't like feeling like this, but this is, and I'm saying, I live in a predominantly, yeah.
That was too
okay,
good.
and I'm for I have to be cognizant of the fact that I live in a predominantly white area. They're not going to buy things. But then I did get upset, and I'm like, not her touching the stuff with the kente print. Where's she taking that? Now, where's she taking that? Get your hand off of that, lady. No, but it just shows you how even because it was they capitalized on moments. They capitalized on Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, the Black Lives Matter movement. They knew that if they stood in solidarity, they would capitalize off of this. If they stood in solidarity with Black creators in this moment, they would capitalize off of this in some way, shape, or form. And they capitalized off of things that were our pain. But here's the thing with Black people, just like with the movie The Color Purple. White people will look at that movie and say, "Wow, that was so traumatic for Black people." And meanwhile, we're looking at it. No, that's because we're trying to show you that our trauma, we can turn that into triumph. A lot of the things that you guys get to go to therapy about and can afford to do all those things, we have to. If we don't do it, then we won't survive. We have to turn that into triumph, and we have to move forward. We don't get to call the police all the time on this and that and this and these situations. We have to figure out how to put this in triumph. It was a spiritual transition, and that's what we had to look at it. That's what most Black people will go and see the film and see. The white folks will go in there, and again, the guilt when they're watching it. And this is what every white person that's watching this, I want you to understand. When you go in there, please don't focus on all of the trauma, because we are still going through that today during Black History Month. So how we define it, and I'm not saying it's the best way to define it, because we should
remember how many white folks
talk about it and cry, but we do not
racially
have
ambiguous
those
folks made it real big.
We don't have the
by
time
telling our pain.
So for
our
us,
stories. Is
to look at it and say,
particularly around George Floyd
how
time.
do I save my family through this?
How
do we break
Rebecca,
generational
those
curses?
3 letters too.
How
Yes.
do we find joy in these spaces and times?
And then also to what you're speaking on,
how are we able to get
they've moved the Black Lives Matter section in
because
Target
our
to the
kids
back
are counting for us.
for the same
Those
reason
people
they are
years and
going
years
to
ago,
keep
my
moving
ancestors
the
who fought
LGBTQIA
in the
section
first
to the back and
Black
every
Republic
other
in the
because
world, in Haiti. My
a certain
ancestors
group
who
of
fought
white
didn't know
folks,
what it
as
would
I
look
have
like, but
clinically
they took an
defined them. There's a
opportunity.
scientific specific
took a
name
chance
for
and
these
they
white folks who are
rebelled. Still
doing this.
paying for it to this day, but didn't know
JCCs,
that I would be where I
they
am
are
right now.
going to
And even in my
target, and
position
they're
right
going and
now,
they're using
even in my position right
they're
now,
mobilizing, they're
I'm still
organizing
at the bottom
boycotts.
tier where I'm
I mean,
having to
just think
work a
about
9 to
everything that
5
we did
to
to
sit
get
here when I know
progress,
other people
everything
who
that
are
we did to
taking
get
this
the little
position who
bit of
don't look
progress. I
like
mean, the
me,
most
who
we
happen to
got
be
was a
white, who get to
diversity and
tell Black
inclusion in
stories.
28 days of a month.
They
Happy
get to
Black
live their
History Month,
life in full.
right? We had to organize, we had to boycott, we had to do the bus boycott, the civil rights movement. We had to do everything from 60s to 65,
Just
64,
yesterday,
65, Civil Rights, Voting Rights Act, all the
3
organizing that we
letters.
had to do. These JCCs, this group of white folks, have now organized themselves to boycott Target and Budweiser and all of these platforms, because how dare you put up something diverse and inclusive? And so all these companies that made money off of Black Pain 2020, 2021, all these media companies and all these influencers who made money off of Black Pain, they've shifted away from it because it's not lucrative anymore for them. And because, well, the JCCs are organizing themselves using the methods of civil rights, the language of inclusion, right? Like they're doing with the fund, the Fearless Fund. They're saying that the Fearless Fund is discriminating against white people. They're doing that, and now Target and Budweiser, all these organizations, they don't want anything to do with diversity anymore.
No, diversity and inclusion is a joke. That's why I always tell you that it is but for a moment. And as soon as as soon as it's no longer popular to side with Black people, to and I don't want to say join in, I don't want to say like a bipartisanship type of situation, because it's not that. It's literally everybody that we see that has a platform that says that they support Black people. If you look at their support from 2020 to 2024, it absolutely gives a different story. And I get it. It can be very trying. I'm not saying that you have to be an ally all the time. If you don't want to be I always say this: if you don't want to be an ally, please don't be. Like, don't be an ally. You know why? Because I don't want people whose hearts aren't in the right place. And your allyship may look different every year. It may, because burnout is something that's real. But I don't want us to just be popular for that moment. Being an ally, working with us, joining hands, supporting us is only popular because, I remember in 2020, people were literally going to protest just so they can post a photo.
Yeah. Well, what? Now,
so they can historically say that they were there.
Now, there were a lot of folks who did that, but then there was another group of folks, some white folks. This is the thing about it. Like as many Jim Crow that are out there, all these racists who are out there, there were still some white folks. I even saw some soccer moms, some wine moms literally get assaulted by the police state in 2020 when we were protesting for George Floyd, right? So you had a group of folks, and those are the folks who left. There are folks who made money off of this. There's folks who went out there, like you said, to do photo ops, and they did their streams from there, and they got famous from it. They made their money from it, and they moved on. They don't want nothing else to do with it. There's a small group of white folks who went to those rallies and got tear gas, maced, and I'm not laughing at them. I'm just thinking about the fact that when they showed up and thought that they could protest on behalf of Black life, remember the guy that they were beating with the baton, this white man, they beat him to...
It got crazy.
They cracked one white man's head in Buffalo, New York, right? So it really just shows you how far you can go on being an ally. When you try to be an ally with us, think twice about that.
Yeah. Please do think twice about that. And this, speaking of that, they're gonna say when we got during 2020, we also, I told you, positions that we thought would never be filled were filled just because of the climate. The time we were George Floyd, people were marching in the street. COVID was a thing. Breonna Taylor, justice for Breonna Taylor. Black Lives Matter was painted in the middle of DC. Like, it was a lot of things happening where people were upset about. Donald Trump was still president at that particular time. There's misinformation going around. People were blaming Black people for literally everything. I mean, what's new? But even for COVID itself, for the campaigning, it was Black people were the cause of everything. Here we go. We then got some congressional seats that became open and given to Black women, right? Some Black men as well. We got senator seats that, had Black people in them. We were making history. And I'm proud of us for that. Cori Bush is somebody that you guys see often. Ilhan Omar, often speaking about minority issues, stuff that's actually close to them, stuff that they have lived. We know Cori Bush is somebody, I believe, who was out there as an activist out in Flint, if I'm not mistaken. And she's been an activist and she's been fighting for these things. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it, all of that. So we talked about this on Leftist Mafia, where she asked for, I think they were going somewhere, and she needs the
security detail. Yes,
security.
yes.
And they being the right, I think it was one of the people who have their shows, right? They were like, why? They're laughing at her. Why would she need this? Isn't this the same person that is anti-police,
yes.
defund the police?
Yes, I know.
And here is my problem with that. Like, we talked about this on the show, and I don't want to bring it up. I'm going to bring it up, but I'm not going to make the story long. I won't be before you long about this. And my peers on the Leftist Mafia are majority white. All of them are white, I believe. Yeah. And I'm the only Black woman. And we talked about our experiences with law officers. And my beloved, beautiful Lance was talking about how with his run-in with the officers, like, he can use his white privilege for sure. And I believe Matt was talking about his run-in with the officers and how they didn't help him find his stolen car. But through being ticketed in New York, that's how he was able to find it, because they kept ticketing a stolen car that was just left on the side of the road. Officers in NYPD don't do anything. But just a few Saturdays, no, that last Saturday that I got on the show, I was stopped by police officers. Y'all didn't even know, because I have to do what? Turn trauma into triumph. I was stopped by police officers. And this is why I say it's important for Cori Bush to have police officers. At the end of the day, when we say defund police, it's because take that funding to actually train police to do something, to not look at Black people and shoot as if it's target practice, not be taught to do so. Get taught to de-escalate, fund the people who can come in and de-escalate, utilize that money to actually put into the community. This is what we're talking about when we say defund the police. Don't keep funding them to do these things. But my run-in with the police officer on Saturday that y'all wouldn't even have known about. They took my car.
What?
He tried to accuse me of being drunk. I didn't drink because I knew I had to come on the show. I knew I had to drive far. And in Atlanta, ain't no lights when you're coming from where I'm coming from. Or when you're driving to where I'm driving to, ain't no lights. And I was literally 2 minutes away from my home. I was asked if I actually live in this town. And he made me get out of the vehicle. My license was, when I stopped the car, my license fell over on the other side. Granted, I'm thinking, okay, I may have been going 5 miles per hour. I want to get home. Not 5 miles, over the speed limit, maybe 5 miles. Give me my ticket. Let's go home. In Georgia, they have this thing so many people have talked about. Your insurance is not going into the system. I don't know what that is about. You change your insurance, and they will say, okay, we see your insurance here, but it's not reading.
Oh my God.
This has happened so many times, maybe 3 times to me or whatever. Yes, it's a thing here, and they will tell you, you shouldn't be driving like that. By law, I'm supposed to take your vehicle. Instead of him saying all that stuff to me, he told me to get out of the car. Before I even got out of the car, when I rolled down my window, he asked me, have I been drinking? I get out the car. He asked me again, have I been drinking? You guys, I am the only person in the street on the ticket. He said there was mid-traffic. There was no traffic. No traffic. It is dark. I was the only person on the street. He made me, because I guess no more breathalyzer tests or whatever. He made me do the thing, this, for 10 minutes in the street. For 10 minutes in the street, he made me do this.
Last week?
And every time, yeah, no, this was that Saturday that I did the show. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He made me he held his finger here in my face, and it was just me and him, guys, in the pitch black darkness of the night. All I remember is his ice blue eyes, and I was so scared to get my license on the side of the car. I didn't know what to do. I was trying not to break down and cry. But he kept, and I said, should I move my head? Because first he said, keep your head, don't move. And he did it for 10 minutes. It made me walk into the middle of the street. And then I had heels on. And he just kept doing this. And then he said, I'm going to go up and down now. So I said, okay, should I keep my head here? Ma'am. I would, ma'am. Just follow my finger. I'm like, okay, whatever. Lord, I just want to get home. He ends up, long story short, he gave me 3 tickets. He said, because your insurance isn't showing. And And because there's a ticket in the system that's showing from like 2 years ago. And I told him I said, hey, that I already went to well, they told you the wrong thing. APD, I don't know, they told you the wrong thing. Oh, and then your insurance, we're taking away your car. The tow truck guy comes, takes away my car, sees what the police officer is doing to me. Then the police officer changes then he told me I didn't give him my license. I told him it's right there on his chest. It was right here. Literally, my license was right here on his chest. And I was super scared. He heard me on the phone with my sister, walked up to the car, and was like, "Oh, you must be busy." Changed his whole tone when the tow truck driver came. The tow truck driver did witness how he was doing me. And then he kept saying, I should arrest you. Before they did, I should arrest you. I should arrest you. I should arrest you. And I'm going to tell you guys, from that time, rent is due. Not only is it during Black History Month, rent is due. Do you guys know how much I had to pay within 24 hours? Get my car back. He took my license. I can't drive. I couldn't do anything. I can't, nothing, not a thing. In that moment in time, I paid almost $1,000. And I still have to go to court. And so all of that, and this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. It ain't easy. It's not easy. Yes, I have a job. Yes, I have to work 10 times harder than everybody else. I get pulled over. Oh, and then he made me go to the car and call a ride share. You don't have family around here? You actually live around here? Where exactly do you live? I said, I live up the street. Ma'am, where do you live? I had to give him the name of where I stayed in order for him to believe that I lived here. And then he said, get in your car. I don't use ride shares. It's a waste of money for me when I have a car. And if I have to use it, I'm going with a friend or something like that. If I drink or something, I know I didn't drink. And for him to that be the first thing that he says that I drunk. He said, are you sure you didn't drink? Are you sure you didn't drink? Ma'am, are you sure you didn't drink? Are you sure you didn't drink? And then having to get on out and have to go order a ride share. My goodness. Yeah, not even knowing if that's the last money that you got. He told me to get in the car, go and order a ride share. You guys, I was shivering outside as they towed my car away. I was freezing. And then next thing you know, get into my ride share, I get home and I had to get up and do the show. So triumph, trauma to triumph. I'm still dealing with it, but like I told everybody on Let This Mafia, this is why we say I support defund the police, but this is why we say also we need police officers to make us feel safe. She needs the police officers to protect her. The same way that Ruby Bridges needed the feds to walk her to school when they were trying to integrate that school in Louisiana. Jesus. This is what we're talking about. So
I know
your camera as well, Bubba.
I don't like that.
All of this is happening.
I don't like
my
that.
that I said I was not going to drag on today. But I say all this to say, y'all can't stop Cori Bush from doing what she needs to do. And tell her she doesn't deserve. There's no correlation to saying defunding the police and needing protection. Our police should be our protection. They're supposed to protect and serve. That's their purpose. And the reason why we say defund the police is because we want them to be able to stand and represent the definition in America of protect and serve, not see Black people and treat them like a certain way, make them fear. When I was 12 years old, I had an AK-47 or 43 or whatever the number is on my back. I had helicopters in the sky and I had SWAT in the bushes of my home at 12 years old because my neighbor said while I was getting the mail that somebody was breaking into my home. They couldn't believe us little Haitian children were living on the same street. I was in handcuffs on my knees with a gun to my back where I had to open the door at 12 years old to call for my brothers to come outside. We were lined up on our floor in handcuffs. So this is why I try to tell y'all. So when this trauma that we have to turn into triumph is serious. I got pulled over by a white cop with ice blue eyes who kept calling me ma'am. I had a problem with the fact that I went to go celebrate somebody's 50th birthday. Give me my ticket if I'm going 5 miles over the speed limit. If I was speeding, I understand that, officer. If there was something wrong with my insurance and I showed you that I do have insurance, just tell me to go get it, take it to the tax commissioner's office and let them fix it, and let them see it and fix it in the system. Ma'am, it looks like you do have a ticket that's showing here, but your license isn't suspended. But let's figure out. It was a whole thing. He gave me 3 tickets, you guys. Do you know what that's going to do? I don't like to be treated like a criminal because I'm black. I literally live my day to day, especially in this country, to try to be on the straight and narrow so I don't punch somebody in the face for disrespecting me and going to jail. I don't like to be treated like a criminal. And I had to just get up and live my life the next day. We can't sit here and function in our trauma. You know why? What's going to happen to us? We're not going to be able to make it through the day. I'm not going to be able to work. I'm going to have to try to go on a leave for my mental. That's going to take about 3 damn weeks for them to actually try to pay me. I'm going to try to, I can't even get in my car and drive right now. I get a little scared right now. Right now, I haven't gotten into my car and to do much because I'm afraid. When we went to go pick up our car, the tow truck man was like, "You're," to my brother, because my brother had to come with me. She's like, "Is that your sister?" She was pleasantly, like, she was so nice. I've never, in the history of doing this, met somebody who was getting shit from, excuse my language, from a cop who would still come in and be nice about it. Do y'all think I wanted to be nice? I had no protection. I was afraid. But I have to get myself together still so that I can make sure things are going correct for me. It puts me back because rent was due on the 1st. I got to wait till the 14th. But we all right? We're going to be okay. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We're going to be fine. It's not, when I say that, I don't say that for pity. I don't say that because, and I get it, but this is my life. This is our life. This is the life we live.
I hate that happened to you, Becca, because that's clearly he was harassing you. Clearly. Because if you had proof of your insurance, regardless of what it says in the system, if your insurance is active, there shouldn't have been no reason that they towed your car because you had the proof that it's active, even though it's showing in the system. As a cop, based on good faith, and you see something is active, then he should go ahead and just gave you a warning like, hey, you just need to call them and make sure that you got everything straightened. That happened to me with my insurance saying it was suspended or something. I had proof. It's a thing here. And like it says on the motor vehicle registration that I have insurance fines, and I'm just like, this car has been covered under insurance continuously for months. What are you talking about? I have insurance fines. I'm like, what are you talking about?
It's on auto.
So, Becca, I'm sorry that happened because as a single black female by yourself dealing with that in a white town,
in a white town, and that he was like, you don't. Basically, he was telling me I didn't belong there. And when I got in the car for a second, I called my sister. I was about to break down crying, and she said, "Don't you do that? Don't you do that? You keep me on the phone." And when he walked up to the car and he heard her say, "Becky, keep the phone on," he was like, "Oh, you got it." He walked away. "You have a lot going on, ma'am." No, I don't. It's just my sister. I had to call her when he told me to go to the car and order a ride share because he would be towing. And he kept reiterating, "I should arrest you." Like I was a criminal. Guys, I don't like feeling that way. I'm not a criminal.
Like arrest you for what? You have nothing to arrest
I'll go pick it up.
And then for them to even doing that sobriety test, the only reason they should do that is if they have probable cause to do that. They still do breathalyzers here. It's no reason that man, if he felt so passionate about you being drunk, should have did an effing breathalyzer test.
I didn't. That would have humiliated me too. Like I've never had any of those things done to me. Like I said, I've had major things happen to me. But at my big behind age, my grown self coming home, and imagine if I would have said we did a cheers with champagne. He would have said I was drunk. I put that thing down and I left the party early because I knew I'm grown. There are decisions that I make that are not the same. And even if I don't think that we should be treated this way, I live here in this particular area because even though it's super expensive, it's the most affordable for me compared to by the city, right? And this is one of the things that comes with wanting the safety. It's a very safe area. The water is clean. it's affordable, all of these things. But what comes with it, just me being Black, me being the minority here in this small town, the protection is limited for me. Once that opportunity comes where a cop can make me feel small, they'll take it. They'll take it. So I say that to say, going back to Cori Bush, these are the situations that we face. And when she says that she needs protection, it shouldn't be something that the right should get on their shows and laugh about, but they should give it to her. You know why? Because the protection that, who else needed protection and didn't get it? All of our leaders who should have went to work on January 6th. And those cops turned, right? And protected who? The right. They protect those. But what about the people that needed the protection? Is this where America is? Is this what we're doing? Is this how we're funding? Is this how we're no. So if our leader in the state was afraid for her life on January 6th and didn't get protection, then you better give her protection right now. You better do the opposite of how y'all did on January 6th. You better have her secret security walking around her and protecting her. Because why? She deserves the same thing that y'all get. And she should be able to criticize the broken system and who they're targeting. And that's all I have to say about that. Not during Black History Month.
Not during Black History Month.
We
need to talk.
Not.
Yeah, because I want to make sure that they. Yeah, because they got me kind of.
And I get it. Bent. Yeah, no, I understand it. Imagine, like, I am strong, but in that moment I wasn't allowed to be. Because I had to get home. Imagine me really dipping over. In this, I had this purse on. This purse where the flap don't stay shut, right? And my purse fell over in the corner. My license, so my card fell up in the corner. And he thought I didn't have my license. So the first thing he went to go do was, oh, okay, you don't have a license. I'm like, sir, you were at my car for 0.2 seconds. And I said, I have to just get over and get my license. Can I do that? Oh, sure. He's walking away. I was so scared that while I was getting my license, the scenarios that were coming into my head. He's going to be at the window and he's going to shoot me.
Yeah.
So, but.
And that sucks we had to think like that, but it's the truth. When I got pulled over, it was the same thing. I'm just like, okay, let me make sure like I already got this wallet out of the console. I don't want no problems. My hands on the steering wheel until you ask me for it. I don't want you to think I'm reaching for nothing. Yeah. And it's a shame as Black people that we have to think like that and live like that. That makes absolutely no sense.
But I'm still here to talk about it, to live about it. Still got to go to court. Still got to pay rent. Like,
make sure
everything is still, life has to life. Life is going to go on. Life is going to move forward. Yeah. No matter the situation and stuff. Listen, I'm going to still be beautiful. I'm going to still get myself together. One day I'm going to get into that car and we're going to start all over again. Everything is going to have to be fine. Because if it doesn't, I can't afford for me to lose my marbles again.
Yeah, you did get that his name, didn't you? Badge number. Did you get that? Make sure you report his ass.
And it's crazy because the tow place, and here we're talking about capitalizing, right? Off of Black pain. The cops will do it. The tow truck place is right here. The man acted like he called him a tow truck from like the whole area away. It's right here. When he pulled up, he's like, whoo, 13th car today. Like, and I think 3 of them were crashes. But he's like, yeah, we're just picking up cars. It's like earlier today, man, I was sweating. Weren't you sweating? They're having like this casual conversation. And I'm just like, God, please let me get home safe. God, please let me get home safe. God, please let me get home safe. And they're talking about how they just been picking up cars all day.
So basically he was trying to meet quota. And then tow truck driver, he ended with the tow truck driver. But the tow truck driver get there and wasn't expecting to see a Black female being nice. So he felt bad.
When the next day he said, I just never seen, he's like, she asked me about my day. I did. Like, I was like, how's your day going? Like, how much, like, how, when I got there to go pick up my car, I was just saying, like, like, how many cars do you pick up a day? And what's the fee? And, do you sometimes does it make you tired? I'm like, I can't afford y'all to break. You think I don't want to break? I do. But I cannot afford to break. I have to figure it out every time. So, yep. Black trauma that we have to make triumph because we don't get that opportunity. And I remember during 2020, that's why you saw us taking as much leisure as we wanted to when we needed to, because we never seen an opportunity where, hey, I can work from home. They're giving everyone mental health days. Everyone can get, like, can I actually go and get a free therapist? They were giving out free therapists. They were all of the above during that time. That's why I say the rollbacks are real, because in those same jobs, go back and ask them for that free therapy that you got from 2020, like 2022. Can you still get it? Is it still the same policies? Policies have changed. It is not the same because your trauma really don't matter. So here we are. And I just believe, somebody asked me in my chat, what keeps me going? I'm not going to hold you. I have to, if you guys know and follow me, y'all know, I consider myself Christian. Some people won't, some people, whatever, however you want to define it. But for me, I have to get up, cry it out, and then tell myself, remember when you got through last year and that happened to you? Remember when you thought you were going to lose everything and you didn't? Remember you have gone through things and you've gotten through. I have to make sure that, Rebecca, what are you thankful for right now? The other day, when I was coming from that place, to keep my mind, as we were driving home, to keep my mind, I was looking at myself in my Blink camera and I was opening my door, and the way I opened my door, you wouldn't have been able to tell that I just came from this traumatic event. I had to tell myself on the way back, you are going home alive. You're going home alive. You're going to make it. Things are happening for you.
That whole situation is just crazy. And I hate that happened. But you see, like Rebecca said, man, this is what we have to go through on a daily basis. I don't know if y'all go through it, but I know that we do, being scared when we see a police officer. Not being scared, but just being in fear of they might pull me over because I'm a black man driving. Because y'all think that I'm not supposed to be in the wrong or right neighborhood, which really sucks. It really does. All right, so while we're waiting for them, we'll take a quick break, let Rebecca handle her business, and we'll be right back with more here on Like It or Not.
When I go with confidence, when I go with roll our hips and take a sip on it, take a trip on it. When I go, you can go slow, wind it up all night, baby, take your time, let me know I want. When you turn me around, I want. When the neighbors yell turn down, we keep it going like bum bum bum. Throw it back then rotation, cigarettes and just season, shine bright as that season. Girl, you know you are a jam 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 jam, jam 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 jam, jam 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 jam, shining like your ice in every time. Jam 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 jam, jam 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 jam, jam 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 jam, shining like your ice in every time. We know like we know shine bright like royalty. We know stay keep a dignity and wine. So kind of your neck is stolen. You been waiting on me to solve it for me. And last weekend you had me thinking, almost kidding, I lift my head up like bum bum bum. Throw it back then rotation, cigarettes and just season, shine bright as that season. Girl, you know you are a jam 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 Can't you? Yeah, you make me feel like we could do. Oh, you make me feel like we could do it all over again, all over again. Can't you? Yeah, you make me feel like we could do. Oh, you make me feel like we could do it all over again, all over again. Jam, 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 jam. Jam, 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 jam. Jam, 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 jam. Sounding like you're wasting every time. Jam, 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 jam. Jam, 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 jam. Jam, 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 jam. Sounding like you're wasting every time. Sounding like you're wasting every time.
All right, y'all, we are back, and just gotta say something that somebody put in the chat was, I can't afford to break, just made me cry. I felt that to my core.
Yeah,
that was a real one. That's the quote. That's it.
I didn't want to make anybody sad this morning. I just wanted to share my story, and I didn't want, but that's our truths, and I know you guys see this, and you would want me to have a break in a moment, like when I say, like, and I need it, and I know, and I love that you guys feel for me, but in this time, I really can't afford it, because if I do, the call I just had was from my apartment complex. So that's why I had to go. So you see what I'm saying? Like, I can't afford to stop. I can't afford to do any of that.
Right.
It's just my life at the moment. So, but what I will say is we won't be here and we won't be somber. We're not going to do that. We're going to have to step it up a notch. I love you guys. I mean it. If you love the show, please, patreon.com/like it or not. Please support so that we can continue to do the work that we're doing here. Share our personal stories. Get real with you guys. Because look, we're at the breakfast table. We're having a good old time. Everything is going to be, it's going to be a lot of things that we talk about. But we never are going to leave you guys sad and somber. I thank you guys for supporting me. And all of the things, that include that. If you want to go ahead and tip your host, this is the best time to do it. Okay? Make sure you tip your host, BPD 2018
right
on
now.
Cash App. You got Becca's Voice on Cash App, and we have DJ X3C on
Venmo.
All right, I make sure I got that on Venmo.
I appreciate it. Look,
and it's the Black host. Okay, during Black History Month, Black History Month, you doing something. You doing a little something when you go ahead and you tip your host. Okay, now with all that being said, I want to give the floor to Ben. I know you had some historical things to drop, and I don't want to miss it before, because I get to talking, and I get to talking. And ain't nobody gonna be able to say nothing. No.
At all times.
No comment. Listen, I didn't get a chance to finish that story with you, Rebecca, but I'm sorry that's happening to you. And it really speaks. David, while I say that, I dropped a link of Dr. Mac's calendar, if you can go and pull that up. But it really speaks to how the system is able to just throw us off. We could be doing everything right, operating in the system the way they tell us to operate, and then here comes along one of their little officers who wants to get you and hit you up with $1,000 worth of tickets. Sorry that happened to you.
The process. I haven't even gotten to the tickets yet. The tickets is on in a month. I have to go and handle that. That was the process of getting my car back.
Yes.
That was the process of going to figure out the insurance, my license being taken away, having to go and wait through the weekend, not being able to drive myself. All of the above. Do you understand? They make it that process for you.
Yes.
And that's what the system really works against us. I didn't want to go back to this, but it works against us. And so, and Dr. Carl Mac's calendar highlights a lot of women who are historical and huge.
Yes.
And then all of their stories have so much pain behind them just for them to get where they had to get as well. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I didn't want to bring you back to that point, but I just wanted to acknowledge that I was absorbing that story when everything glitched out on me. But I do want to give Dr. Mac, we can shift gears here. Dr. Mac has been working on several calendars. This is the one that has just been released. If you look at the design, Black Heritage Days 5, I believe. I can't see it too clearly, but on the screen, but it's for Black women. 366 days of history around Black women and their contributions to society. This is really important right now when you have all these people trying to say that women, Black women specifically, are diversity and inclusion picks. No, if you go through the history of Black women, as Dr. Mac has outlined it here, all of these instances, you're going to see not minor contributions to American and world history, but major contributions to American and world history. So I just want to give congratulations to Dr. Mack for all of his hard work and this new calendar coming out. And I'm looking forward to getting it. My father-in-law asked me about it. My mother-in-law asked me about it. Everybody asking about it. But here it is. It's out.
Yeah. It's
Shout out
out.
to Dr. Mack.
Shout out to Dr. Mack. I was telling people he is the Black voice of Google, and so he's big in his own right. And again, another rollback. See, they get Black folks and they roll them back. It just doesn't make no sense. You wanted his voice, but did you? So yeah, all of that. But he has calendars. I have this calendar here.
I got that one.
He blessed us with as well. So if you haven't and you want to get up on Black history, because and I don't think they do. Kids don't really do how they used to do with Black history. I'm gonna say, because back in the day, you used to have to dress your kid up, or like they would send an assignment and that would cover Black history. These kids are saying things like recent people, and I'm not saying that these people haven't made history, but I don't want to write out people who have done the work. Like back then, even though they gave us 3 people,
look at Carl.
It was never Malcolm X. Look at I ain't see Carl with the washboard ass, but they gave us 3 people, and it wasn't Malcolm X. It was Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King,
and maybe Frederick Douglass. But
it was nobody else. So when we had the moment when they would say, come and talk about your favorite Black history person, we would actually have to go do the research. So some people were coming with the guy that made the peanuts, the street lights, the cell phone, pads, because Black people are responsible.
In a system that's targeted at exploiting us at every level. Listen, before we get back to the other, because obviously we're not done with your conversation yet, Rebecca, but I do want to say one last thing. I am so excited about this calendar, but the next calendar, Dr. Mack, please, I know you're tired of me asking about the STEM calendar, but Dr. Mack is also simultaneously working on a 366-day calendar of Black science contributions.
Nice.
Because Black.
Listen, the stuff that he has gone over with me that he has so far as it pertains to science, first of all, I had no idea. And I study all the time. I had no idea how significantly Black people have advanced the world of science and engineering, mathematics and technology significantly, hands down. We need to get that next calendar out, Dr. Mack. No pressure. We're going to push this one. Black women, all that. And I know a lot of it is in the Black women calendar because of Black women scientists and engineers and mathematicians, et cetera, et cetera. But I just want to thank Dr. Mack for putting this history out here when we got a whole bunch of JCCs trying to tell us that we're diversity and inclusion picks. No, realistically, we built this country. We gave you a foundation in math and science. We have done so many things for this country. And I thank Dr. Mack for outlining it in so many calendars. So there you go.
Because
shout out Dr. Mack.
I just love being Black. Now, see, I told you, I just had this whole thing about how broken I could be, but I can't afford to be. But Blackness, when you think about it, is beautiful. The history of our people is just resiliency. Do we want to be resilient? We didn't ask to be resilient. We have to be resilient. Right. And so we're going to be resilient. Sometimes, I'm telling you, that time through 2020, 2022, that was a mystical, magical era. Where we were able to be like, I'm just going through a lot. And white people were like,
tell me about it.
And I was like,
let me send you something.
You really want it? Yeah, it was
Shut up.
We're gonna support Black content. And then it was like, I'm like, I feel stressed out at work. They were like, we have programs for you. Let's go ahead and take some time off. And did it again, 2023. They was like, now we're not going to pay you for that time that you decided to take off for your mental health, because that was not, we hired you for business needs. And because you had a mental health issue and no longer had the time to fund it, we can no longer assist you in that way.
Wait a minute. We need content. I know how we got here. But in case somebody's watching the clip of this, they will have no idea how we got to this image of Carl Mack on the screen. Who mentioned the washboard abs? Which one of y'all mentioned?
But didn't I tell the white people to calm down today?
David? Get this light skinned man off our screen.
David done got
Watch abs.
the file too for that. That's crazy.
Damn, man, I want the real one. The real picture. Y'all terrible.
And you can drop it during Black History Month.
Okay, you can definitely drop
will
that.
not exploit and objectify that man as some type of sexual object. Not on this show. We're not. No me 3 here. I'm sorry.
No, I don't. We've already done it for years. I'm done.
I mean, years. I mean, but you know,
he's still fine. He's still fine. But
not somebody that made it.
Yeah, it's on Twitch. It's been on Twitch for a minute.
Is it a
I
whole?
did not even know that. That's crazy. Anyway,
Dr. Mac has been a Twitch emoticon for years now. That's
not
funny.
emoticon. That's a long word.
Yeah, I know that's my stepdaddy.
Because Gwen. Now, Ben, tell us about what you brought here. There was a story that you were bringing to the table. I don't want to miss out on it.
That was it.
That's what I was. Oh, that was it.
What else? I mean, I know. Listen, don't ask me to start talking because I got 100 stories we can talk about. Now, what category do you want it from?
But before you get there,
okay, because I got them now.
I want to talk about doxing. Somebody told me to dox the officer that did that to me. I'm not in the business of doxing. I wish I was. I wish I had that spirit. I wish I had the spirit of dox.
Right, child.
But the spirit of doxing to the wrong folks can be very, very dangerous. You know, a lot of officers like to have this authoritative complex, and that can get really dangerous. And I believe the same thing for people like Donald Trump. For people like Nicki Minaj. Fight me. Let me tell you something.
Right. Pull up. I don't give goddamn what a bar.
What is happening online? And I had this discussion again Thursday but the way that I've seen it develop from Friday to Saturday.
Hello, child.
Let me tell you
for the 2 days.
Oh, has it turned up since yesterday?
What?
Lord, have mercy. I know what's going on.
Megan is winning. That's all I say.
And
Megan won.
Winning or losing to me. What is happening online? Because people don't understand that they are just fans. Having to call people's jobs because Nicki never told you not to, and she never told you to, but she knows what you guys are doing as part of her fan base. But having to call people's jobs, having to call people's families, having to call the cemetery where Megan's mother is buried, and they had to put extra protection on top of where her mother is buried, and the cemetery itself. The Barbs are doing
yes, man.
Y'all are just as backwards as she is marrying a sexual offender. I'm sorry, go ahead. What you were saying, Rebecca?
And even with that, she has a problem with that. The father of the child, so I believe that's Nicki Minaj is doing as well, whatever, but who knows? There's no proof to that. But the father of the child from that helped create the Megan's Law out in California, which actually is a law that helps protect children and people from predators, because of the young girl Megan who was murdered by a predator. And so it allows Californians to feel a little safer in those times. And I'm saying this because the father said that he's trying to find how he can how he can get some kind of reparations for the fact that Megan mentioned it in her song. And I'm like, this is ridiculous because I think that she actually brought it to light to let everybody know what that law is actually about.
Yes.
Great correlation in artistry. Yes, it was. It definitely was. But none of us here, I don't know about you, but I didn't know what Megan's Law was until in the song, and I had to go Google what it was, and it was great.
Hang on, I got to pull the Dr. Mac here now. I know a lot about what's going on, but I'm guessing Megan's Law was like a bar she dropped.
Yes, it was.
Song, and somebody
I'm going to tell you the exact bar being
Megan's Law.
Yeah. Now bring me up to speed on that one because it sounds like it might have been a bar.
She said, "Y'all H's want to be mad at Megan, but really you should be mad at Megan's Law." All she said, and it said a lot, especially if you didn't know what Megan's Law was, and when everybody started discovering what the actual law was, it's like, damn, that's really deep. That's all she had to say. And that was it.
And then it turned into her for days and nights being on the Clubhouse version of Twitter, or the Twitter version of Clubhouse.
Yeah.
So she's been on there every day. Oh my goodness, I have to play for you what barbs sound like. I'm about to drop something really quickly right now. I need you to grab this for me, my brother from another that I got.
My Caucasian brother.
When I need you,
Puerto Rico.
but I need you to grab this because I want you. I don't think you guys understand the severity of these barbs. So here is, and I just explained one girl had to call the feds, and I dropped it in. I dropped it in our text messages, David. One person had to call the feds about it and drop names on Twitter, actual names, because this person was doxing, calling their homes, putting out other information. One woman, they said that they're going to pull up to her house. She had to put out a video and say, I live in the state of, and I believe it's Mississippi or Alabama. And I hate that I tie the two together because it gives me that I'm a little bit prejudiced. And so
I'm from both of those states, by the way, but I'll let it fly for right now.
And I apologize about that. But she said she's from a state where they're supposed to shoot to kill, so do not come into her yard. And this is where the conversation has gone, all because of a bar. And somebody wanted, a lot of people are saying, oh, it's rap beef and da da da. I said rap beefs can sometimes end in death between the two rappers, but you guys are killing each other.
Yeah,
you guys are going head to head while none of these people are going to mention you in a song. They're going to come see about you or do anything. But I want you to hear how the barbs are outraged. And this is from a post that Olay wrote, and it's hilarious. But listen to the audio first. Let's take a listen.
See in the comments is Nicki's jealous, Nicki's old, Nicki's bitter, Nicki's angry. I know for a fact, as a black woman, I can't stand up for myself in the workplace because I'm gonna be considered bitter and angry. How much can one fucking woman take?
Viewer discretion is
you got this woman that had the nerve to name her daughter Culture, and she ain't contribute nothing to the culture. She only stole from it. She told your fucking young daughters, go be with a man that will take care of you while Nicki is paying for people college, and y'all spit in her fucking face. Nicki is over here having her friends get a business open, and she's sending her friends to jail to go jump 2 girls in a club for fucking her husband. This is what y'all, and all you see in the comments is Nicki's jealous, Nicki's old, Nicki's bitter, Nicki's angry. I know for a fact, as a black woman, I can't stand.
Not during Black History Month. We're gonna listen to that twice. That is absolutely outrageous. Okay,
Delusion.
For a grown woman, and I'll just read Olay's tweet. Because hearing this audio is all you need to know how insane the barbs and stan culture, because that's where I'm going to go with it as well. Stan culture itself is. I can't think of one logical reason to be screaming like a Rumpelstiltskin soldier child on behalf of a mean bully of a celebrity. And so this is where I want to go to. This is the whole point of that I'm bringing this up. It's not because of Megan. It's not because of Nicki anymore. It's to show you how crazy it has become and the doxing, right? And who this is similar to that I've seen in the past. Donald Trump. He never denounces anything, and his troops go up to the mountaintops at the Capitol, and they start they're literally domestic terrorists.
That's right.
And Donald Trump didn't show up there, mind you, at all. Didn't show his face, nothing. But everybody is fighting for him, crying about him, saying that that's their president. They're putting out people's information. Poll workers' information was put out.
Yep.
They were threatened. Poll workers on behalf of Donald Trump. And I'm not saying that Nicki is Donald Trump, but I'm telling you how these stan culture can create this being problematic. They don't want to call an issue. They don't want to say anything is wrong. This woman is crying and saying that this is black women aren't heard or whatever. That's exactly what the song Megan literally put out. The first one she put out, and then there's his saying that y'all haven't listened to me. You guys are laughing that I got shot in the foot. You guys are saying you guys are saying that this never happened to me.
I don't understand the very, maybe I do understand it, and I don't want to believe it's this silly. Where's the source of this? Is this really this most recent incident? Is it really because Nicki Minaj decided to take a shot at Megan in her most recent album, which itself is a problem. Don't get me wrong, like what she did in that album. But this is a whole new level of escalation, right? This has gone far beyond the harassment of the Tory Lanez trial. Like this is going, they having to call security at the graveside. Like this has really spiraled really quickly as a result of some albums being dropped. And I know it's got to be tied to promotion. Like some of this is, I don't think it's calculated on Megan's part. I think she's just responding, but this was a hell of a way to promote. And we've seen this happen so many times when people drop new albums and it's getting out of control.
I see where you're going with this, Ben. Since Nicki's album did come out on the 8th, and then Megan put, she just dropping bars. She's basically just getting some stuff off her chest because everybody, all these suckers behind these microphones doing podcasts and everything. So she addressed some issues because I was the same way. I'm like, where did this Nicki and Megan stuff even start at? Come to find out, it's all because I guess Megan did a song with Cardi, WAP, which was years ago.
Yeah.
And so now here it comes that she dropped this song, and basically I didn't really realize she said anything about Nicki until the Megan's Law bar, and then looked up Megan's Law. It wasn't even anything long or related to Nicki from what I thought.
It's really, but if you know about her husband.
And then Nicki comes out, Bigfoot, you got shot in your foot, your mama dead. That's all you can say. And then from there, these people start the doxing process when they're putting out information on where the grave site is, just a whole bunch of stuff that makes no sense for somebody that doesn't even know who y'all are. You're doing all of this, and this woman don't know y'all.
During Black History Month.
See, I here's the thing about Nicki. I'm about to get in trouble. Cash Money generally. Whew, Lord help me. Why did I start?
There you go. Oh.
I should have done that because you just put up Drake was up there too. I like Lil Wayne, and I think all three of them are brilliant lyricists. Lil Wayne, Drake, and Nicki, all brilliant. Love the Cash Money era when it first started. But Nicki and Drake, they got some traits about them that is really destructive, and that they kind of focus their music to attract young people is even scarier. And the behavior patterns that they are amplifying and the stuff that they're supporting, it really has now transitioned from, man, I rock with Cash Money to like, no, these folks are ops.
Yeah. Nicki too old to be doing this. That's all I say. Nicki, you too goddamn old.
She did. This is the thing, power, right? And this is how I see anybody else who functions in this light. Because like I said, I mentioned Donald Trump, but it's not only Donald Trump. I feel like when Kanye was doing his thing and everybody tried to stand beside him and allowing him platforms, and all the Kanye stands are saying, but y'all don't really see what he's really trying to say. Y'all don't know how dangerous these things can be.
Very much so.
And it's dangerous for our communities, it's dangerous for us, but now we've furthered ourselves into beyond into stan culture and how problematic it can be. Because if you guys are doing all of this stuff from your jobs, computers and phones, and you're not feeding your kids and you're not washing up, but you guys are really plugging in to do all of this, it says a lot to me. But what they can do for this one person who doesn't care about them. But imagine if that energy is exerted right into the community, about fighting for community issues, about fighting for the rights of people, about helping people understand why their vote matters. And if they don't understand to vote on a bigger scale, how can they vote, in a local scale? Who's supporting their community? Who can they partner with? We're talking about education. We're talking about a medical. We're talking about like housing. We're talking about all of these things. But here you are crying because two women are going bar for bar.
Look, the way she cried in that video, in that audio is, and you mentioned Donald Trump. I want to play, David, if you pulled up that clip I just dropped you, I want you to see this video of this woman who went to Texas this past week to join the revolution that's happened down there, this trucker convoy, all that kind of stuff. She got there to support Donald Trump, and she got a reality check of her lifetime. And I want people to watch it in context of this, because when you stand somebody When you stand and you go all out of your life's way and you spend your money and you believe in them so much that you go and follow them around the country, do realize how much of a fool you are making yourself first and foremost.
Hello.
To the Christians, do not be deceived. Stop thinking that everybody who waves a flag and shouts freedom is your friend and a good person, because we have people like this trying to join up in the movements. I found this out the hard way. I found it out the hard way. That not everybody is in things for the same reasons you are.
I'm trying. I'm not
in the People's Convoy.
I'm trying to understand.
And what a fucking disappointment that ended up being.
Listen to what she says.
What a disappointment to find out that these people that you were with, they weren't like you. They didn't care about the country. They were a bunch of grifting motherfucking live streamers that wanted to make money off of the people in America who were hardworking and sending their money, little old ladies, old men, people who had to wait for their paychecks so they could give a little bit of money to help people drive around and shout freedom and fight for freedom. And to find out that it was really for nothing, to find out that the people involved, a lot of the people involved that are involved in this convoy right here were really bad people. They were bad people who did not care about the causes that they joined. They used them for their own profit.
Now,
How
here's the thing.
sad is that?
She's a Trump supporter who drove over to Texas to help support the big cause. They are all standing Donald Trump in this moment. They're standing this conservative movement. She got over there and found out the hard way that not nary one of the people over there she went over there to support and that she's a fan of and that she's been standing. She got in her vehicle and drove over there. She found out the hard way that they don't really stand for what they stand for. She got a rude awakening in real time that stand culture, standing for Donald Trump, ends with. But here's the last thing. I blame the stream. I blame these people who take advantage of stan culture. I do blame them. But as a grown person, you got to understand, you should have known this before you got in your car, spent your money, went across the country to support these people, only to find out that you put your life on the line for people who don't even care for you.
That's why I don't like when I see also, and it doesn't stop to me. I don't care who you are. And like I said, I love the Lord. I'm a Christian. I like the culture of Black church. I love it all. I go to church on Sundays, Wednesdays if I can. And so I say all this to say, even your pastor can be just like that too.
Come on.
Pastor can do the same thing, and people will ride and die for them. They can do no wrong. The pastor is doing all kinds of things and benefits off of, and this is not every pastor, but benefits off the fact that these people are hungry for something and they're feeling led by not the spirit, by their pastor to do all these things.
That's right.
And meanwhile, their pastors are sleeping good at night and all these other stuff while they're struggling.
That's right.
They're struggling.
Right. That's right.
And so it could be your pastor, it could be your favorite rapper, and it could be your former president. Okay.
Hello? It's idolatry. And the Tiger in the chat room, our producer, he said it's idols. This is why you don't make idols of anything. You put an idol above you, you're going to follow them. You're going to make excuses for them. Thank you for bringing up the church example, Rebecca, because how many pastors have people surrounding them right now, still protecting them from all the little girls they touched in the church, all the boys they touched in the church, all the grown women they assaulted in the church. But as long as you got people around you who will stand you and cover you, like this white woman used to do for Donald Trump, like that lady who voicemail we heard she was doing for the Barbs, and now these people doing for these pastors. So much destruction happens. Like, people get hurt, people's lives are destroyed, their money is lost. You really harm people when you stand them and you you have idolatry in them. I can't even say it right. You get what I'm saying? It's idolizing them. idolizing them is an act of violence.
That's the point
because of how
during
they
Black
think.
History Month, man. I get a
It doesn't happen often. Y'all got it for me. Appreciate it. I was struggling.
Because it'd be me. I'm like,
I was struggling with that word.
Just the other day, I was asking Leftist Mafia. I'm like, now is it pronounced? And for me, my first language was in English, so I get, you know, a little bit of a. But Ben has corrected me many a time. So yeah, Ben, you know, idolize.
Listen, I was too deep into my thought to actually engage in grammatical exercises in real time. Thank you. It was really simple. It was idolized. I don't know what I was trying to put together.
I needed to just throw that out there. I knew how to, you know, find.
You got one. It's been 10 years. You got me. No.
Right.
Anywho, but yes, Ben, all of the above. There is idolatry happening right now, and if we could place it in the Bible, remember when they were building that golden calf, and then God was like, boom. What was it? The Babel, Tower of Babel. That's what they called it. Everybody had to speak another language. I feel like we need to be struck with something like that, where everybody, especially the stands, none of y'all can speak the same language. Y'all can't read, see, write, none of the same ways. So y'all have to go, because this is absolutely ridiculous. You guys are functioning under one law from a woman who does not. She gets online, has a conversation with y'all, riles you guys up, and goes to bed. Yeah. She does nothing else for you. We had Donald Trump as our president, who literally could not denounce another side and had to say both sides of the situation. He went to sleep, but people went to the store to go get tiki torches.
That's right.
In the Walmart section.
People in jail. People in jail right now because they stand Donald Trump.
People are in jail and serving time because
wait. I got an even better one. Oh. Lord God, forgive me. This was not very pastoral of me. People are dead. Ashley Babbitt is dead right now because she's staying Donald Trump. Like y'all, I was trying to be better. I was trying to do better.
T effed around and found out. I mean, dead as hell. Let me stop. Sorry.
Y'all better stop idolizing these people.
Like for real.
David, that couldn't have been a more perfect time image to put up on the screen.
Right.
Like literally the golden calf image of Donald Trump as they took pictures with it. These people are bowing down and they don't understand what worship is, right? If they went to church, they could probably understand worship a little bit better. The way that black woman was crying, that grown black woman was crying over Nicki Minaj, she worships her. That's a form of worship.
That's a worship. It really is.
Yeah, it's a form of worship. And this is where I say it gets super problematic and dangerous, because now we're in a place where they'll see who said it. They'll go on under Nicki Minaj before this whole song came out, and people didn't really hear about this, but the Shade Room posted it. Before the song even came out, there was nothing to do with Hiss or whatever the case may be. It was a simple Nicki Minaj fan, a Barb, who said, I don't know if Nicki knows who the F she is. It was literally a compliment to Nicki. And Nicki went under that girl's page and cussed her out. And said, you're a 19-year-old sleeping with a married man or something in that arena. And then started saying other things about her. I found out and I found out more. Nicki was basically doxing this young little girl.
Yeah.
Social media.
This is a good season to expose this. Number one, I hope that little girl is okay. Number one. Number two, like how
everybody
did she not even bother to correct herself? Did she not even care that she interpreted the girl
everybody
wrong?
on the Shade Room and on the original place where the girl said it, and I believe it was on TikTok. I want to say it was on TikTok. But everybody on there kept saying, Nicki, you got this one wrong. And
she didn't correct it.
She didn't correct it. She didn't correct it. During Black History Month as well, a lot of correction needs to be done to other people. Snoop Dogg, I think we discussed him, how he said Donald Trump is now his homeboy, or he ain't got no problems. Basically, he said he ain't got no problems with Donald Trump anymore. Donald Trump is good with him. Now we have Tyrese on this good Saturday morning. He said this on Friday night. He wishes he was Latino.
You say what?
During Black History Month. Tyrese, the singer, says he wishes he was Latino. He said, sometimes I wish I was born Latino. And I mean,
what was his explanation?
I mean, the Latin community is grounded in family. Loyal entrepreneurs, businessmen, and women literally represent the dream, the grind, the hustle, doing whatever it takes to stick together against all odds. Did we not just discuss what?
It got
Did we
worse.
not just discuss at the beginning of this episode how we literally and it may what America does before I continue to read the rest of this crazy stuff? What America does is put out that perception that black folks can't stick together. And you know what black people do? We get together and make that also statement when stuff ain't going together. We will literally be like, black folks, niggas. We'll say that. And once we say that, we know that's what it is.
That's why I'm saying cracker in the year of our Lord 2022 tour. I really believe that God has called me to use it as many times as they like to use the N-word, right? As many times as we've heard the N-word in rap, as many times as we've seen it on Twitter, I just feel an anointing to call out these Jim Crow crackers. But go ahead, Rebecca, you were saying.
He continues and he says, if us as black culture was more grounded, or if us in black culture were more grounded, and I'm fixing these words as I go because he didn't write it correctly, in these integral magical nuances of us, we would be dominant. I've learned a lot from the Jewish community, sticking together, eating dinner every Friday. Who didn't? Okay, every Friday because he believed. Okay, Friday together. I've learned a lot about the Muslim community throughout all of my travels. Now he's naming everybody. Travels in the Middle East. They have a father structure. Not the man that was crying in court about his child yesterday and how he the best daddy in the world, but you broke up your happy home. Okay. They have a father structure where they honor their fathers in the Middle East. The thinking and the mentality is that they would much rather have a son over a daughter, not him, because they know that there is nothing like leadership of a father and the man being the head of the household. I have no idea. He is a father, I think, of 2 daughters, by the way. I have no idea how we lost our way. We can't get anything done and accomplished as a fragmented culture, insecure, threatened by each other, competitive towards our own race, killing ourselves every single day frivolously. The majority of us are, because he put is, black men, and the millions are locked up in prison. Of course, we are, and this is the last paragraph. Of course, we are beyond powerful, because he said we are twice, influential and successful. But imagine if we linked up like other communities have linked, poured and built up on each other instead of moving like fragmented and dysfunctional. And I just said that about the Nicki stands, right? And the Trump stands, right? We have what it takes to take over, and that's 2 different stands, black and white. Okay, we have what it takes to take over the world. We are nothing trying to do it alone. Please chime in. Would love to know your thoughts on this. Oh, he asked for our thoughts on this. He said, what are your thoughts on this? Comment section, go in. Ben, I'm gonna start with you.
Yeah.
Or James, you can go first too, because I'll run my mouth.
Because I mean,
Please,
I understand what he's saying, but you started it off by saying that you wish you was Latino.
Not only Latino,
Jewish,
he's learned a lot from other communities.
Another communities. I mean, we do these same things. Yes, do I agree that we can be better unified, and yes, we should be unified doing certain things, but there's a better way to write it than just writing it like this, saying, I mean, that makes it seem like you're degrading your own ethnicity, your own heritage, everything. It's like you taking a dump on us.
Yep.
Like, why not come out and say, hey, we as black people need to do X, Y, Z together instead of trying to bring other cultures into it. Mm-hmm. We are not the same. We are not the same.
Look what he said. I used to be so ashamed of my dark skin when I was younger. Now I'm clear. This is kings and queens skin. Yeah, I was never ashamed of my skin.
Never.
And I get it. Everybody has a different type of trauma, but now that trauma is being reflected in this statement. I don't know how you grew up, bro. I had a dad.
Yep.
I had a mother. I had a community. I had cousins. I had grandmas on both sides. We had cookouts. We still have family reunions. I still know what the smell of burnt hair smells like on the night before Easter. Okay. I know what getting in before the street lights comes on means for black folks. I know what McDonald's money is and ain't, right? You talking about what we don't have. Like, our culture goes so rich. I could just mention those things and everybody's black brain starts connecting all those thoughts. That's number one.
Amen.
Don't apply your distorted childhood to the entirety of Black people. That's all I'm gonna say, because not everybody is as destructive towards Black people as he apparently has experienced. I don't know. The last thing I'm gonna say is this. Rebecca, I said this last week about Frito. What was Frito last name?
Fredo Bangs.
Frito Bangs, and we ATL. It was ATL Jacob the week before.
ATL Jacob. That was the week before.
When Negroes have not done any real thinking, and they get a brand new thought that seems, oh wow, this is deep. They run their mouths instead of pausing and say, well, nigga, I ain't never thought before, so maybe I should think twice about something before I say it. Tyrese, I know you're new to this thinking game, but I need Black folks, before you get behind a podcasting mic, to think one layer deeper of how my words enhance and support the very white supremacy that has divided and conquered the Black community. How you gonna blame us for the systemic measures they put in place to destroy everything about the Black community? And despite the destruction that they gave us, Rebecca, we are still resilient, as is the theme of today's episode.
Okay, we're still resilient. We're still all of the above. I could sit at this table right now, and again, we're not a monolith. And it's not only that we're saying, it's all the communities together. I'm pretty sure there are white folks be saying country. That's some country stuff, but whatever groups are together. I've heard people from the Middle East talk about their own people. I've heard people from, we gonna do that, but what we're not gonna do is keep presenting these types of conversation. And getting out here and letting other people create a narrative off of what you said. Then you asked us to chime in. You wish you were Latino, and don't be dumb, because technically I'm actually Afro Latina, right? For me, Latinx. And so Black people can be all of the people that you mentioned. So don't be dumb. Okay?
And Muslim, like he said, Muslim, like there's not a whole nation of Islam.
Not during Black History Month.
Tyrese, go back to the Coke commercial, man.
Baby, go back to singing, because I loved it. I still play your music to this day. I got your latest album.
Go back to Transformers, man.
TGT, I'm sick of Transformers because if they make one more. But TGT, when you was with Tank and Genuine, y'all did that thing. You are great in music. You're great in acting. You're great in modeling.
Go back to Fast and the Furious,
a handsome man.
Just go back to shutting the hell up, Tyrese. How about that?
Don't come here. And you've experienced everything you're saying. You're somebody who was a product of the system. When your daughter was allegedly taken away from you, your rights was taken away because it's systemic, right? That allegedly it was systemic. And you got online crying about it. You had a situation where you allegedly said you had to leave the woman you were with, but you were willing to fight for your relationship or whatever the case may be. So you had to leave that where it was at. Don't get online and talk about these things as if everybody is doing them. Every single thing that Tyrese has gone through, because he's such an open book and he gets online and tells everybody his business. All the situations that he named, he's gonna say they were all environmental, they were all systemic, they were all because he was on drugs when he went to rehab. Not drugs, but I'm saying like they gave him drugs that made him not be able to see or speak or whatever. He has excuses for everything for him being a Black man going through it. But now you're gonna sit, I will not accept it from you.
You better parse that nuance and the structured layered differences of how he can see the systemic problems when it comes to his own BS. But then when it comes to everybody else, he said, why y'all act like that, Black folks? You do. Keep going, Rebecca. That was
so don't tell me that. My family, they're all Haitian. They will sit there and tell y'all, oh, whatever. Haitians are this, Haitians are that. But let me tell you, the reason why we live in the neighborhood that we lived in, somebody said, hey, yo, there's a neighborhood, they accepting Haitians. I know you ain't got this, I know you ain't got that, but come over here. It's going to be closer to a church that can help us get food when we need it while we're trying to build jobs and do all this stuff. And then they're going to help you get where you need to go as far as with the car. Here's the bus line, or we can all get in together and, I don't know how to say that, carpool and get together and go to where we need to go to. It was communal. It's community. And it is Black folks who had to get together and send a tape back to Haiti to tell people what specific areas were Haitian friendly to move to in the middle of Palm Beach. I didn't grow up how y'all grew up, but yes, how we gonna argue sometimes? We gonna mention stuff like, oh, it be the Haitians, it be the whatever, but that's just what we do in arguments.
Yes.
Every community does the same thing. Don't sit here and say, and every community has their thing as well. You just weren't born none of that, and you're dumb. It's the dumbest thing for you to ever say to say you wish you were born something that Black people are born, because you were trying to insinuate that these groups of people can't be Black either.
The denseness of it all, right? the total denseness of, and then to have a platform. See, when you got Black leaders, and I'm putting that in quotation marks because this is intentional, as Malcolm said, right? When you got Black leaders like Nicki Minaj, when you got Black leaders like Tyrese, Frito-Lays, and ATL Jacob, and all these people who speak on Blackness with the same lens as white supremacy. I mean, with niggas like this in these caucus.
It's terrible.
You said a word right there, brother.
And that's it. That's where I'm gonna stop with that one. We're not gonna keep ending y'all with all this mess. I just want you guys to tell me one thing that you are so grateful for when it comes to being Black. Like, there's so many things, but and we're rooting for everybody Black. So while they're out there trying to control the narrative and continue to control the narrative about us, and there are bad things that happen, but we have a lot of good things and good places and good spaces and good people and strong people and innovators and people who invent things and all this other stuff. Now, Ben, I want to start with you. Why are you proud to be Black?
That you asked the dissertation level question,
right?
Like,
you can't pick one thing.
Because Tyrese saying he wish he was something else, but I want everybody to know why we are glad that we are who we are.
I hate to steal from you, but the theme that you set for today's show is the thing. Like, we are resilient. Like, no matter what we have been through, we are not only still here, but we're the benchmark for society culturally, as you will see historically in the calendar from Dr. Mack. In terms of science, you'll see in terms of that science calendar he has out. Like, despite everything here it is. I'll do it biblically, right? Bible says that the more Pharaoh oppressed the Israelites, the more they grew. That's us. The more they try us, the more they try to oppress us, the more they do to us, the doper we get, the more resilient we get, and the less likely, the more they mess with us, is like they undermine themselves. So what I love about being Black is that no matter what they try to do to us, it fires back on them.
Yep. I love that. Bubba, like that. Why? What's so great about being Black?
Like Ben said, it's our resilience. We're literally built different. And I hate to say it, some of this stuff that we were built for this because we had no choice but to endure a lot of this shit. So we're built for it. Like, yeah, it gets hard, but most times we pull ourselves up by the bootstraps and keep on moving and keep going, because that's all we know. That's how we were taught. And I don't think I would want to be any other race, because I'm just like, I don't know how it would be, bro. I don't think it'd be as dope as this. And it's so funny to sit around a table when you with other Black people, like Ben was talking about the burnt hair, how to smell Easter morning, how we have so many of the similarities when it comes to life experiences. We all have the damn experience, and I think that's amazing. I ain't gonna say it like that. White people, Latino people, it's a lot of people. What do y'all have? Y'all have y'all thing, but we got our thing, man. Like,
we do too. That's right.
I relate to Ben. I can relate to Rebecca. We all been through the same thing, and it's just like that with every Black person that I know.
Oh, Rebecca, before you go, can I just borrow something from James? What I love about being Black is I personally, Benjamin Dixon, can literally go to any city, and it does not matter if there is a Black community that has any connection to Blackness, Black grandparents, Black culture, Black family union, Black music, Black church, it doesn't matter. I have found a home. I have found somebody I know. I have found somebody that I can trust. I can find somebody that if I need a place to crash, it is a family, it is a brotherhood, a sisterhood, it's an otherhood that transcends this entire country, and I think this planet. But we are family connected as deeply as James just told us.
Yeah.
Yep. And for me, I'm so excited to be Black because we're not a monolith, and we are the blueprint. We're not a monolith. Everybody here on this stage, everybody here at this desk, everybody here online and on air, Bubba, Ben, and Becca, all three of us come from different backgrounds, different places. You know, historically, I have all of us have family who was immigrants. I just know where mine came from.
Yeah.
As far as when it comes to Haiti, but the boat stopped before that. We don't know where they came from before that. So we all have that connection. But we speak all types of different languages. We cook all types of different foods that be seasoned. We wear different types of clothing. We all have different types of accents. This is not something that is just reserved for white people. And what's funny about it is that when we dress up and do all these things, it's so different. It's so beautiful. But we have the style that everybody is trying to copy.
Yeah.
Everyone.
So much so historically, we knew that music, right? Songs, Black folks couldn't put themselves on the cover of records. Right. I was just talking about this with my best friend because all the white folks love the music. So when they had to drop it, they could not put that it was them, even though vocally, the tone of a Black person. I don't care how white they say they talk or whatever. We have a special tone to our voices. Our hair, when it touches water, it curls up. And you can pull that thing out and it could be reaching down to your knees. All right. We are that's how magical we are. On top of that, we are the blueprint. Like I was saying, so much of the culture, the reason why Twitter was thriving
That's right.
was because of what they called Black Twitter. The reason why Instagram thrives right now, a lot of the culture comes from a lot of Black content. Yep. Even though Black content creators are at the bottom, it is the blueprint. I just seen a video yesterday of a girl making a video about saying LMAO, right? I laughed my behind off, my ass off. I never had any to begin with. She talked about that. It was a whole thing it was a viral clip, but it got way more viral when a white girl bar for bar stole the entire content, and and everybody Black went under there and was like, see, here we go. We are literally the blueprint. We will take these boring behind spaces, add some seasoning to it. We will take these conversations and put a little pizzazz on it. We will make sure that this is what Blackness is to me. I don't care what anybody says. I'm a girl who is college educated, and I can still rock diamond designs on my nails. But people are gonna say that's ghetto. Now white people are rocking the same style nail, diamond designs, and getting the same jobs that I was told I couldn't get. We are the blueprint, and we are not a monolith. So this is what I'm telling you. Focus. I love being Black. I could change my hair. I love that I can do all of these things that white people now, who once crowned intolerable, ghetto, unpleasant, all these accents that they tried to grab, hold on to, all these things. Yeah, that's why I love being Black. It would be nothing, literally. There would be a lot of things that would not, them cell phones y'all talking on, Black.
Hello.
That peanut butter y'all love, Black. Traffic lights, Black.
Heart surgery, open heart surgery.
Yeah,
Black.
open heart surgery, Black.
Cellular, the cell towers.
Black.
Ice cream scoops, because I like ice cream. Black.
Okay.
So, every single dance that you're seeing coming off of TikTok.
Black.
Every group of they're adorable. Love them. The little Asian babies from, I don't know, China, Korea, all the different, they just look amazing. Black.
Did y'all see Justin Timberlake on SNL? He couldn't make it through that. His comeback couldn't be a comeback without adding Toby Nigwe on his track with a whole black with Black people in the background. You
Black
know why?
choir.
Because he couldn't sing them runs having a white chorus in the background. Black.
It's May.
AF. And Becca, you said something. I remember they used to be like when coming up, and this probably before you, Becca, how they used to talk about Black people talking ghetto and speaking ghetto. Now these motherfuckers get online and talk the same goddamn way that y'all felt something about. Y'all just appropriated the shit out of our tone.
They call it AAVE, African American Vernacular English.
So two quick things. I'm gonna shut up on this because y'all both have hit on actually, James, I think you hit both of them. Physically, we are different. Epigenetics, right? If y'all study epigenetics and DNA, like the adversity that we have gone through as Black people has been encoded in our DNA. So we're literally built differently, James. And then Rebecca, you were talking about AAVE. The way Black folks, and I think this is this is something not just for Black folks, but this is marginalized community, minority groups, wherever we go. we know how to break we would take your language, we would break it, make it more efficient, put more meaning into it, make it sound cooler. You're going to hate it for the first 10 years, and then you're going to start copying it and trying to do it yourself because we made a better language. You could call it ghetto. No, it's a more efficient language, and it's a scientific principle. So anyway, that's all.
And even with that, it's funny you mentioned that, and I'm gonna leave it right here as well, Ben. In Haiti, yes, French is one of the main languages. People also speak Spanish. We took, because we couldn't, they didn't want us to speak any of the languages, our colonizers, and what we took was our African dialect. We took some Spanish and we took some French, and we merged it together, and we created our own language. Okay, so
merge that thing like a Voltron.
We sure did. And what did we do? We spoke that. So this is what I want to tell you. We will always be, we will always do, we will always find a way. It will always, no matter the decision, no matter the way, Blackness does that. We don't get to go to rehab all the time. We got money. We don't get to take just get a daddy's new car, brand new car, grab the keys to whatever.
Physical therapy to myself.
Right. We got to do therapy to ourselves. If we can't even get to the church, sometimes we have to just take what we've learned, channel ourselves, or whatever the case may be. Sometimes it might be a night of crying, but the next day, what we're gonna say, joy cometh in the morning.
Come on.
Hey, hello, somebody.
Come on.
This is our life. So at the end of it all,
come on.
Blackness again ain't a monolith, and we are the blueprint. Remember that today, okay? And not during Black History Month. That's when somebody's trying to try it, you're gonna look them in the eyes and be like, not during Black History Month, and you're gonna move on. Not during this year, not ever. I love you guys so much. Listen, if you are here to the end of the show, that means that you're rocking with us.
Right, man.
You loving it. You loving it. You like what you're seeing. Please help support this show, because I don't even know how I'm gonna be able to pay for the program this month. Listen, patreon.com/like it or not. Patreon.com/like it or not.
I'm gonna interrupt. Special request time, folks. Listen, we're gonna combat the weapons of the enemy. Put up her Cash App. I know we ain't got a whole bunch of people, but folks are going to be watching now. They're going to be watching later. Put up her Cash App. Rebecca Azor Cash App. Let's do it.
Becca's Voice. That's all it is. My Cash App is Becca's Voice, BECCASVOICE. And I thank you guys.
I want y'all to send all that little extra money that you were going to spend. If you were going to go to McDonald's this weekend, send that to Rebecca. If y'all were going to get some Starbucks, send that $10 to Becca. If you were going, if you're going to smoke some weed, get a nickel bag instead of a zip. Send that money.
No, I appreciate it, y'all. Becca's Voice on Cash App. Becca's Voice on Cash App.
We don't let that cop bring you down, sis.
Oh no, I'm definitely not. I'm gonna have to go live my life. I'm gonna have to do what I need to do. And like I said, baby, we're gonna get through this, and I promise you, you're gonna see me in my same space. This place, it'll eventually get paid. The lights will be on. Everything is gonna work out. I promise you. And so I love y'all, and I thank you, Ben. I thank you, Bubba. Yes. We're gonna head out of here, and remember, not during Black History Month.
Not during Black History
next weekend. Love you, beat it.
Becca, you preached today. You preached today,
right? Then she said a word.
James, hey, shout out Tiger. Let's go raid his channel. It's on y'all.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Tiger, man. Make sure if you're on Twitch, head on over to Twitch, man. Go raid Tiger's channel, man. Hey, shout out to everybody again. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Beer Burner Chronicles this morning. And now, like it or not, man, like Becca said, patreon.com/like it or not. Patreon.com/like it or not, man. I love y'all so much. We had a great one this morning, and I hope you tuned in. Now, thank you so much for tuning in. Let's see. Haven't done an affirmation in a while, so we're going to give you an affirmation today. Your affirmation for the week is, I no longer let people's opinion of me affect me. I no longer let people's opinion of me affect me. Because why? It's Black History Month, and we standing on business all year, all month, whatever you want to do, man. Love y'all, mean it. We will see y'all next week. Deuces. Love y'all, mean it. Bye.
Running up the numbers, that's a lot of gun. Try and take it from me, must be out your mind. Oh, I'm big time, lot of signs. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of